Hi everyone, Miniature Dreams here with hopefully the first of a number of videos on the books that have helped me draw. Now, I did occasionally draw and doodle when I was young, but I never really had any information on the background aspects. Anything I got taught in art class was pretty much just draw this thing, and I ended up with the feeling that you either could draw or you couldn't. So back in late 2016, I decided to start relearning how to draw, and my first question was, how do I learn to draw? I had also the vague idea of creating some kind of comic or graphic novel that I'd put on the internet and see how it went. And so a friend of mine recommended these two books, Draw Your Own Manga. Now, I have the first two books, all the basics and beyond the basics. There is a third book called Honing Your Style, but between a limited budget and the fact that it got a poorer general reception from other people, I didn't buy it. If you are curious, the third book gives examples of settings, scenarios, and genres that you can use in various manga. As you can see, this series is recommended by the Tokyo Animation College, a recommendation I do agree with, as these books do go through the process of creating a comic or manga. Where I feel it lacks is it pretty much presumes that you already have a base knowledge of not just drawing, but knowing how to draw people and backgrounds. These, I get the feeling, are for the people who know how to draw and want to be able to turn their drawings into manga rather than someone starting from the very beginning. So, if we start with the first book, the first one, initially, it has a whole section on the process of drawing, from doing the rough sketch to inking it through to cleaning it up. It also gives and demonstrates examples of the numerous equipment that is available to use. You have a very brief example here, the paper, pens, rulers, brush pens, technical pens, fine liners, more in-depth things about technical pens, saying you'll get a neater result than with ordinary pens using that. White ink for highlights. Now, personally, I have these two Uniposca white ink pens that I use for highlights, which I find much easier and much simpler to deal with than dealing with acrylic colouring or ink cartridges and the like. It's just, I find it so much easier. We then go on to demonstrations of how to draw characters, differences male and female, and head to body ratios, demonstrating that a head to body ratio of about 5 is for cute characters, young boys, young girls. Head body ratio of 3 and 4 is children comedial characters. A couple of examples where the head body ratio is just off and doesn't look right. Sections on the eyes, differences between boys' eyes, girls' eyes, the use of screen tone, which I'm not showing here because I'm not sure it's really used that much. With computers and digital editing, you can pretty much get the same effects from screen tone, the same effects that you would get from screen tone if you just do the effects digitally. So you've got illustrations on how to draw converging lines, how to do speed lines. And then the last bit we have is on the backgrounds, a demonstration of pretty much like what I would call camera angles. Camera angle above at the eye level, camera angle from below, wide shot, close shot. And then there is also bits on how to draw in perspective, 1 point, 2 point, and a small demonstration on what to try and do if you actually have a perspective drawing that doesn't quite look right. So for the second book, we have a little bit of recap from the first before we dive into the details. Immediately and straight off, you can see that we've got the character design, but unlike the last one, we have boy and girl for like small child, roughly age 3, child age 10, high schooler age about 15, college age about 18, and adult about the age of 23. We also have some breakdowns of body parts. In this place we've got the hands and hand positions. Pretty much the same action but from different angles, which if you're someone who doesn't really draw hands that well can be quite a useful reference. We have facial expressions, different hairstyles and different clothing, showing how those can differentiate the characters, but personally I would try and actually make the facial features different as well, rather than just trying to rely on the hair and the clothing. We also again have sections on special effects, and we do have information on how to use sound effects in this book, showing that not just a different font or a different size can emphasize things, but also how the color can change aspects. So you can get something which is reasonably minor, really emphasize it, and you get some really strong things with high impact and high emphasis. We also have a single page here dealing with the time effects, showing the same scene during daytime and during nighttime. But not only does this give a different mood or atmosphere, but it can also change what the character's doing. The example in this is like daytime she's running because she's late for school. Nighttime she's running because it's late at night, she's past her curfew, something's chasing her or something like that. And then finally we have a section on colouring. Now this goes into so much depth that I've not really seen in any other book I've used. There may be books specifically on manga style colouring, but I've not had access to any of those. I did have to narrow it down to just this 2-page spread, otherwise the amount of detail that this goes through, I would have had to talk through the whole section. So those are my thoughts on those 2 books. If you're new to drawing manga style, like I said earlier, I do believe these are the books where you know how to draw, you know how to create characters, you know how to do backgrounds, but you want to know how to put them together in manga, and you want a couple of books that will guide you through that. These 2 are worth it. They really do focus on making the actual manga, the pages, the layout, the shading, the colouring, the effects. I do find them lacking instruction for how to actually draw, and so when I got these I was fairly disappointed in those aspects. Between them I do feel like the first book is you have a manga idea, you want to get it down on paper, here are the basic bits you need to know, whereas the second book is for detail and refinement, how you actually give it more emphasis and make it really pop. So that is my review of those 2 books. If you have anything to add, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this, want to see some more book reviews, maybe give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see when I post new videos, please subscribe. And I hope to see you all again soon.